Hi there, Dillon. Thank you for sending this new set of essays, and also thank you for the tip about blueberries. I will certainly keep it in mind. Let's take a look at this new set of essays. I know that you said you had some issues with it, so let's see what you ended up writing. It's about taking your family on business trips. So here's what you said. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated the advantages and drawbacks of the development of families bringing their household members together abroad on business trips. This essay will discuss why I concur that this is not a detrimental development using examples and arguments. Okay, fine, it's good. There are a couple things, though, that I do want to change. Let's start with that first sentence. It was just a little too wordy. You really could have simplified this. And now, when I use the word simplify, that doesn't mean that I mean lower level, simple grammar, simple whatever. It just means a clearer and cleaner message. Okay? So that's one thing I want to do. And sometimes reducing the word count it reads so much better and it makes for a better sentence. So let's see what it said here. Right, look, like the drawbacks of the development of families bring their household members together. It's just a lot of words. So let's see if we can clean it up. Let's try it. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated the advantages and drawbacks of employees taking their families abroad on business trips. Okay? I think it reads more, I think it reads cleaner, and I think it works better. All right? You can tell me if you agree or disagree. And then you want to be careful with this kind of construction here. It is not a detrimental development. Detrimental obviously has a negative meaning, okay? And obviously not does as well. So what you have here is two negative words here, and it's just not, again, as clear as it could be. It's a better idea to use instead positive words. So why don't we try it like that? This essay will discuss why I support this development using examples and arguments. Now, maybe you wanted to use the word detrimental, and I understand it. It is a nice word, but I think that sometimes you have to sacrifice a higher level word for clarity and ease of reading. Okay? So let's move on. On the one hand, there is evidence that working husbands or wives are more, you don't want the word conducive. You want the word productive. Okay? Because conducive has, again, a very specific use. Conducive to something. But something is conducive to something else, not a person is conducive. So, working husbands or wives are more productive and content when they're working side by side, even if one is simply supporting the other's career. This is due to the fact that workers in these modern societies often work extremely long hours at their respective workplaces, hardly ever seeing their family until dusk arrives. It is understandable that they should take the business trip opportunity to spend quality time with each other. For example, recent empirical research by Hopkins University found that many renowned American international speakers bring along their families across the globe because they feel that the presence of their loved ones gives them motivation, which has greatly inspired quite a number of their given speeches. Therefore, it is abundantly clear that the quality of work done is enhanced as the people know that when the job is done, they will still see their family members at the end of the day despite being in a different country. Okay, yeah, that was well supported. It was well developed. Good grammar, good vocabulary, no complaints whatsoever. Okay, well done. On the other hand, although there is a case of work quality being improved with the presence of families, the impact of expenses incurred by the additional people on the business trip cannot be understated. Wonderful, perfect. This is largely because the cost bearer has to bear the fees. Careful with this, bear or bear. Try to avoid that, okay? The same word, it's the same word essentially, just a different derivative. Try to use a different vocabulary word. So how about this? Has to pay the fees of the extra passengers for the trip, as companies normally do not reimburse their employees for taking their families along. For example, if a father were to take the wife and two of his children from Brazil to Europe with no additional financial assistance from employers, and taking into consideration the currency exchange, get rid of, the total cost of the journey to the father would be tremendously sky high. This is redundant, okay? You just want to say tremendously high and may ultimately lead to bankruptcy for the family. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that should this practice continue, families over the world, no, it's all over the world, could end up in debt, which is not healthy for the society. Okay. Yes, good, except I didn't like and may ultimately lead to bankruptcy of the family. That's a little extreme, okay? That because you take your family on a trip, you're going to become bankrupt. You want to be careful with extremes. You want to be careful with absolutes. Instead, I think what you said in the next sentence was better. So why don't we try that a little bit again? The total cost of the journey, you don't have to say to the father, the total cost of the journey would be tremendous. You could even just say that. And may ultimately lead to financial difficulties for the family. Okay, like bankruptcy is an extreme case. Okay, so that's a better way of saying it. And I thought the rest of it was very good. I thought it was very good. So to conclude, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that albeit the issue of the higher costs incurred, I don't like albeit there, it's rather awkward, that, let's see, I believe that the issue, the higher cost incurred, families should stick together even while they are on the clock. As long as there is proper planning of budget, the matter of increased expense should not hinder the time spent together abroad for work as family. For work as family. I don't understand that. For work as family. Let me see if you could maybe rephrase this. Should not hinder the time spent together as family. Wait. As long as there is proper planning of budget, the matter of increased expense should not hinder the time spent together abroad as family. That's it. Get rid of for as work, and that makes it work. Okay? This was very nice. I liked it. I thought you had a lot of good points. I thought the grammar was nice most of the time. I thought the vocabulary was nice most of the time. I'm going to give you a suggestion that I want you to keep in mind, and that is that perhaps it would sound even better if you reverse these paragraphs. There are a lot of IELTS tutors out there who think that when you put the argument that you don't support first, it's a stronger way of presenting your argument. So you put the side that you don't support, then you put the side that you do support, and then it links a lot better to your conclusion. In fact, if you look at debates, this is how we typically debate. We start with our weaker argument, and then we go stronger and stronger, and we leave always our strongest argument for last. So that's something you might want to think about as a way of organizing this in order to potentially improve your coherence and cohesion score. But as I said, I did really like this, so I thought you did a very nice job with this. Okay, Dillon's a good job with it. Now let's take a look at the letter here. The first thing that I want to tell you that I can see straight away is that you don't know the name of the person you're writing to, but you ended your letter with regards. I want to remind you that the rule of thumb is yours faithfully when you don't know the name of the person you were writing to. So that's number one. Now let's see what you said. Dear managers of Clucking Bell, I am writing this letter concerning the recent horrible experience I have encountered at one of your branches on North Way Street last Saturday afternoon. Okay, then it shouldn't be I have encountered, it's I encountered, because you're telling us exactly when. So you want to use past simple and not present perfect. I ordered one of the chicken dishes, namely, fresh and hot fried chicken combo set for lunch, after my guitar class across the street ended. Get rid of this has, again, because we know when all this happened. You've already told us when. It was last Saturday. The food was served very quickly, and in fact, only roughly 6 minutes after I paid for it. Again, no have. When I intended to cut one of the wings into smaller pieces, there was stiffness in the middle of the meat and a subtle coldness with a hint of frozen meat. Okay, gross. This led me to believe that the food was hardly what is advertised, as it stays fresh and hot on the menu. Then I questioned Karen, who happened to be the supervisor for the day, about my food. She abruptly told me to leave the premises, it's always plural, if I did not find the food to my liking. I am extremely disappointed with the order and the service given by your restaurant. Therefore, I demand a refund for my order and an investigation into your food preparation procedure. I understand that the product often differs from the advertisement, but at the very least, please kindly serve a properly prepared meal for your customers. You may send the refund to me via bank transfer to Wise Banking Limited with account number this. Okay. All right, very good. It's very good. It's very good. Just some awkwardness that I already corrected, some grammar stuff. Careful with your tenses. You may want to do a little revision. This is the only time in your writing that I've seen this issue. Remember that when you clearly state the time and when something occurred, you should not use present perfect. We use the present perfect when we don't know when the event has happened, okay, or when it has some relevance to now. Neither of these cases applies here because you very clearly told us it was last Saturday. And in fact, if you're reviewing some of these rules, I want you to review some time marker rules, as this is something I see IELTS students have a lot of problems with. If you get a nice advanced grammar book, you can find that there are certain time markers that belong to certain tenses. So it's a good thing to revise if you're revising grammar in general. This was a nice set. I'm really very happy with it, Dillon. I thought you did a great job overall. Okay, so keep at it and let's see more work from you. Good luck.